Imagine achieving the ultimate dream. You have unimaginable wealth, a loving family, and just wild success.
Basically winning the game of life.
Exactly. You have completely won. But then at 90 years old, you just decide to walk away from it all.
Just leaving everything behind.
Right. You leave the luxury, the comfort, and your family just to cross the world and look at a broken down hut and a patch of dirt.
It sounds crazy when you put it like that.
It really does. Why would anyone do that? Well, that is exactly what we are exploring today.
And it is a fascinating journey.
It really is. Today's deep dive is a full, immersive summary and analysis of Munshi Premchand's poignant Hindi short story.
Yes.
It's called Meri Matrubhumi Hai, which translates to "This is my motherland."
A truly powerful piece of literature.
Definitely. And we are looking solely at this specific story from the provided Mansarovar collection today.
That's right.
Our mission. We are going to unpack the protagonist's profound emotional journey. I mean, leaving his homeland, finding massive success abroad, and returning 60 years later to a place he no longer recognizes.
The culture shock is just immense.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to explore what truly defines a homeland, and how memory clashes with the relentless march of time and, well, colonization.
Which is a huge theme here.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack this. Our protagonist is a 90-year-old man.
Right.
60 years ago, as a young man with just blood coursing through his veins and a heart full of ambition, he left India for America.
And it's important to note he wasn't forced out.
No, not at all. He wasn't exiled by a tyrant or the law or anything. He was driven by his own fierce ambition.
Yeah, Premchand establishes a very specific baseline here. He ensures we know this isn't a story of forced migration.
Right. It was a choice.
Exactly. The protagonist deliberately chose to leave. He was drawn by the West, by high commercial ideals.
You want to build something massive.
He really did. He wanted to build it from the ground up.
Right.
And he succeeded on a scale that most people can't even fathom.
Yeah, in America, he didn't just survive the commercial landscape. He entirely conquered it.
Built a vast, sprawling business empire.
Reading the source material, it's almost like he beat a video game on the hardest difficulty and unlocked every single achievement.
That's a great way to put it.
I mean, by all societal metrics, he has completely won at life. He amassed incredible wealth.
He married a woman whose beauty was famous all across America.
Right, and she was entirely devoted to him. Together, they raised 5 healthy, honest, and strapping sons who took his business empire and grew it even further.
Just expanding the legacy.
Exactly. And now, at 90, he has a lap full of beautiful grandchildren. It is the absolute picture of perfection.
But there's a catch.
There is. There is this fascinating contradiction embedded in all this success. Despite having every single thing a person could possibly want, he is haunted.
Deeply haunted.
He's haunted by the memory of a tiny 4 to 6 bia plot of ancestral land. He dreams of his childhood friends and a broken-down hut back in India.
We are looking at a profound psychological tension here. It's the friction between material abundance and spiritual belonging.
Yeah, those two don't always align.
Not at all. When we analyze the concept of roots and identity, we often find that achieving every material goal doesn't necessarily satisfy the internal need for a cultural anchor.
That makes a lot of sense.
Premchand gives us a deeply visceral detail to illustrate this too. The protagonist notes that whenever his American sons come to him in the morning and bow to him with respect, he feels a constant thorn in his heart.
Wow, a thorn.
Yeah, it's a sharp, painful reminder that despite their love and his immense pride in them, America is not his true country.
He feels disconnected from the ground beneath his feet.
Exactly. He does not truly belong to the soil they are standing on.
That thorn in the heart is such a powerful image. It's an ache that luxury just cannot soothe,
No amount of money can fix it.
Right. The dissonance between his external reality and his internal identity is so loud that it drowns out his success.
Even in the best moments.
Yeah, he acknowledges that even during the happiest moments of his life in America, like during grand celebrations, or when his wife was speaking sweetly to him, that thought would pinch him.
The thought of home.
Exactly. He'd think, if only I were in my own country.
What's fascinating here is how the protagonist decides, at age 90, to leave his beloved wife, his wealth, and his grandchildren behind for one final singular goal.
It's a massive
It
decision.
really is. He wants to become a particle of dust Khan in his motherland before he turns 100.
He's on a ticking clock.
He calculates that he only has about 10 years of life left, and the pull of the motherland becomes an absolute biological and spiritual imperative.
He wants his physical body to return to the specific soil that birthed him.
Right. So he boards a ship and makes the arduous journey back across the globe.
You naturally picture this grand, nostalgic homecoming for him, right?
You'd expect a warm welcome.
But when his ship finally docks in Bombay, the reality just completely shatters his expectations.
It's not the India he remembers.
Not even close. Instead of the India of his memories, he is greeted by a scene that completely disorients him. He sees black sailors speaking broken English.
The industrialization hits him immediately.
Yeah, he sees motor cars, trams, and men riding in rubber-tired carriages with cheroots clamped in their jaws.
Very westernized.
Highly westernized. He looks up and sees the imposing Victoria Terminus railway station. And this 90-year-old man who conquered the American business world just breaks down and cries.
It's overwhelming for him.
He cries because this doesn't feel like his beloved India. It feels exactly like the Europe or America he just left behind.
That initial shock serves as the catalyst for the story's deeper exploration of spatial control.
Spatial control.
Yeah, he left an agrarian society and returns to a modernized, colonized port city. The physical infrastructure of his homeland has been overhauled in the image of the colonizer.
Oh, I see. So the buildings themselves are a reminder of foreign rule?
Exactly. He feels entirely alienated because the visual language of the city communicates foreign dominance. But, he holds on to a thread of hope.
He wants to see his village.
Right. He boards a train heading into the Green Hills toward his specific rural village. Premchand describes him feeling a sudden, childlike excitement as the train moves away from the city.
The years are just falling away.
Yeah, his heart leaps with the anticipation of seeing his old friends and his childhood home.
I have to push back a little here, though, or at least play devil's advocate for a moment.
Okay, go for it.
60 years is an incredibly long time. Change is absolutely inevitable over 6 decades, right?
Oh, for sure.
You can't realistically expect a place, even a rural village, to stay frozen in amber while the rest of the world moves forward. His childhood friends being gone, for instance, is tragic, but it's also just the natural progression of life.
It's a fair point. But the distinction we have to make, and the one Premchand is meticulously highlighting, is not just that change occurred, but the mechanism and nature of that change.
So it's about how it changed, not just that it did.
Precisely. This isn't just the organic passage of time. It is the deliberate imposition of a colonial structure designed to dismantle the local community.
Okay, that makes sense.
Look at how he finds the village. It isn't deserted. There are hundreds of people walking around.
Yeah.
But Premchand notes that they are lifeless.
Just going through the motions.
Yeah. Their faces show worry, sadness, and a distinct lack of vitality. They aren't discussing harvests, local festivals, or family.
What are they talking about?
Their entire dialogue revolves around courts, litigation, and the police. The social fabric has been replaced by bureaucratic misery.
That distinction becomes glaringly obvious when he visits the specific landmarks of his youth.
It's a series of heartbreaks.
Truly. He goes to the stream where he and his friends used to bathe their horses and swim freely. But now there's barbed wire running along both sides.
Cutting off access to nature.
Exactly. There's a strict no bathing sign, and looming over that very stream is a bungalow guarded by 2 Englishmen with guns.
The militarization of his childhood memories.
It's chilling. And the wrestling arena, the protagonist himself, founded as a young man to promote health and community, that is now a dilapidated school filled with weak, sickly-looking children.
A total inversion of what he built.
Right. And his actual home, the hut where he grew up, is nothing but a mound of dirt.
The physical landscape has been co-opted to assert authority. The barbed wire isn't just a fence.
It's a warning.
It's a message of exclusion from their own natural resources. But the most devastating example of this weaponization of space happens at the banyan tree.
Oh man, the banyan tree incident is absolutely gut-wrenching.
It really is the emotional core of this part of the story.
He runs to his childhood banyan tree expecting sanctuary. This was the place where he swung from the aerial roots, where he ate fruits that tasted sweeter than any candy,
Where he played with his closest friends.
Right. But instead of a peaceful tree, he finds a police station built right next to it.
A symbol of colonial enforcement.
Yeah. Under the protective shade of the tree, A man in a red turban, a symbol of the local police, is sitting there, surrounded by armed guards. And nearby, a man in torn clothes is lying on the ground, sobbing after just being whipped.
Premchand uses the banyan tree as the ultimate subversion of nostalgia. The tree is a traditional Indian symbol of shelter, community gathering, and ancient wisdom.
It's supposed to be a safe haven.
Exactly. By placing the police station there, the colonial system has intentionally transformed a site of nurturing shelter into a site of violent, systemic oppression.
It's just so violating.
Seeing this man being whipped under the very branches where he used to play shatters the protagonist's emotional resilience. He sits on the ground and weeps for hours.
He realizes the harsh reality of what his home has become.
Yes, he realizes that this place operates as a nation. It has laws, borders, and punitive structures, but it is no longer his country.
Because the soul is gone.
It operates on the harsh mechanics of commerce and penal law, completely devoid of the nurturing spirit he remembered.
Desperate, he starts searching the village for anything familiar, any remnant that retains the spirit of the place he loved.
Grasping at straws.
Yeah. He remembers the old chapel, expecting to see a vibrant community gathering place where his father once sat as the village headman, the serpent.
Solving local disputes over a shared hookah.
Exactly. But the chapel is entirely gone. In its place sits a vaccination post and a post office.
More bureaucracy.
Right. He goes to where the sugarcane press used to be, where the air would smell of sweet molasses in the winter. Now that space houses a hemp rolling machine and a cigarette shop.
It is a relentless, systematic erasure of communal organic spaces.
Replacing them with institutional and commercial machinery.
And that institutionalization directly causes the death of the culture's core values, most notably hospitality.
Which was so important to him.
Huge. In the India he remembers, a guest, especially an elderly one, was treated with the utmost reverence. The village was an extended family.
But not anymore.
No. He approaches a man who looks civilized and politely asks for a small space to sleep for the night.
And he is told to move along, not once, but 4 times. Think about that.
It's staggering.
This is a 90-year-old man asking for basic shelter in his own birthplace, and people are just waving him away as if he's a nuisance.
The indignity is just awful.
Finally, a 5th person doesn't even offer shelter, but simply hands him a fistful of chickpeas, exactly the way you would dismiss a beggar on the street.
Treating him like a vagrant.
Yeah. The protagonist is so crushed by the indignity of it all, he drops the chickpeas and just weeps. He says aloud that this might be a functioning nation, but it is unequivocally not his hospitable India.
It's the complete erosion of the cultural values he cherished. The physical buildings being gone is one thing, but the people losing their fundamental humanity and connection to one another is what truly breaks him.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. He suddenly remembers the old Dharamshala.
The charitable inn.
Right. This was an inn that was in the middle of being built right as he was leaving for America 60 years ago. He thinks to himself, surely there I will find shelter.
The doors of charity must still be open.
Exactly. He hurries toward it, hoping to just get through the night in a place designed for weary travelers. But when he gets there, he finds that while the building stands, its purpose has been completely corrupted.
It's no longer a sanctuary for the poor.
No, it has become a den for alcohol, gambling, and misconduct. He is completely horrified.
I can't even imagine.
He screams out to the night that this is not his beloved India. This is Europe, this is America, but never India.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the protagonist is experiencing the absolute apex of alienation.
He has nowhere left to turn.
He realizes he is now truly stateless. He doesn't belong in America. His heart fundamentally rejected it, despite its success there.
And India rejected him.
Or rather, the India he loved, the physical and social India of his youth, no longer exists. It has been paved over by colonization, modernization, and a devastating loss of traditional values.
So the physical space is there, but the essence is gone.
Premchand suggests here that cultural erosion is often far more destructive than the physical demolition of buildings.
Yeah.
The protagonist retreats to the edge of a stream in the dark, listening to the howling of jackals, and he seriously considers giving up.
He almost turns back.
He contemplates turning around, returning to the comfort of his sons, and letting his body mix with the soil of America. He is at the absolute bottom of his despair.
It's a dark night of the soul. He's 90 years old, sitting alone in the dark, surrounded by the sounds of wild animals.
Feeling completely defeated.
Yeah, feeling like the 60-year yearning that defined his life was built on a complete illusion. He realizes that all day he had been looking at the surface layer of the country, like someone looking at the skin and muscle but failing to see the skeleton underneath.
That's a great metaphor.
He needs an X-ray to see if the bones of his motherland are still intact. And then at 3 in the morning, that X-ray vision finally clicks in.
The turning point.
The turning point arrives. Through the heavy silence and his own despair, he hears a sound. It's a song.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. He looks up and sees a group of 15 to 20 elderly women dressed in simple white dhotis carrying brass pots.
Going for a holy bath.
Exactly. They're walking toward the river for a holy bath, and they are singing together in pure devotion. They sing, Hamare Prabhu Avagun Chitnadaro.
Meaning, our Lord, do not take our faults to heart.
Right. Shortly after, he hears others walking by chanting Shiva, Shiva, Har Har, Ganga, and Narayan.
This sequence is a masterstroke by Premchand because it delivers his ultimate thesis on what truly constitutes the motherland.
It's not the physical stuff.
Exactly. The true homeland isn't the physical infrastructure. It isn't the political state, the borders, or the laws.
It's not even the specific people.
No, because people inevitably pass away. The true motherland is the enduring spiritual and cultural current that flows beneath the surface.
That's beautiful.
It is a frequency that survives despite colonization, despite barbed wire, and despite changing economies.
That raw, unpolished devotion completely overrides decades of Western luxury for him.
It washes it all away.
He explicitly notes that hearing this simple spiritual song in the pre-dawn darkness brings him more joy-like, more pure, unadulterated happiness than all the beautiful women, all the sweet words, and all the immense wealth he experienced in America ever did.
It resonates on a soul level.
It's a frequency his soul immediately tunes into. He realizes the physical village was just the vessel. This enduring faith is the actual water inside it.
This raises an important question about what truly anchors us to our culture. For this man, it wasn't the buildings or the local governance.
It is the traditions.
It was this living, breathing spiritual practice.
Yeah.
He is instantly reinvigorated. He follows these people in the dock.
And it's not a short walk for a 90-year-old.
Not at all. He follows them for 6 miles over a rugged mountain path until he reaches the banks of the Ganges, the Bhagirathi.
Oh.
And when he gets there, he sees a scene that has remained entirely unchanged for centuries, completely untouched by the colonial administration.
What does he see?
He sees thousands of people bathing in the freezing water. He sees people sitting on the sand chanting the Gayatri mantra. He sees others performing ancient fire rituals and reading aloud from the Vedas.
The core of the culture is still alive.
Seeing this eternal, unchanging devotion allows his soul to finally reignite.
Seeing this, he is finally able to shout with absolute conviction, "Yes, this is my beloved country."
He found it.
He found it. He says, "This is my sacred motherland. This is where I want to become a particle of dust." Which brings us to the emotional climax of the story.
The final shedding of his past.
Overcome with joy, he physically strips off his Western coat and pants. These aren't just clothes, you know?
They're symbols.
Right. They are the literal woven symbols of his 60 years of American success, his wealth, and his foreign identity. He throws them away on the riverbank.
A powerful rejection of the material.
And then he plunges into the freezing waters of the Ganges. Premchand describes the moment so beautifully. He falls into the river like a child who has been surrounded by cruel, indifferent people all day, finally running into its mother's embrace at dusk.
It is an act of complete surrender and a total shedding of the identity he built in the West. He builds a small, humble hut right there on the banks of the Ganges.
Just living simply.
He dedicates his remaining days entirely to chanting the name of Ram. He bathes in the river morning and evening, fully integrating himself into that spiritual current he witnessed.
So what does this all mean? The story ends with a powerful, quiet resolution. His wife and his sons write to him from America,
Begging him to come back.
Yeah, begging him to return to the comfort and luxury he built, but he steadfastly refuses. He replies that he cannot leave the banks of Mother Ganga and his beloved country now.
He's made his final choice.
He has finally found his peace. Worldly desires and the metrics of societal success can no longer move him.
He's beyond all that now.
He is simply waiting for his final moment, waiting to offer his ashes to the waves of the river, fulfilling his deepest, lifelong wish to merge with the soil and water of his homeland.
It's profound meditation on the layered nature of identity. He realizes that he had to systematically strip away his expectations of the physical material world to find the spiritual essence of his home.
It was buried underneath everything.
It's a realization that while empires rise and fall, While landscapes are altered by conquerors and modernized by industry, the deep cultural soul of a place and a person's intrinsic connection to it can endure anything.
It makes you think, doesn't it? I want to ask you, listening to this right now, how do you define your own home?
Is it the physical space?
Right. Is it the physical house you grew up in? Is it the specific friends you made along the way? Or is it something much more intangible?
Like a cultural frequency?
Yeah, a cultural, spiritual frequency that you carry inside you no matter where you go in the world. I'll leave you with this provocative thought to mull over today.
It's a big one.
If you were to leave your home today, right now, and not return for 60 years, would you even recognize it when you got back? Or does true home only exist in the abstract, a spiritual and emotional connection that survives, even when the physical world you once knew has been entirely paved over?